Manchester City will win. I do see Leipzig scoring. There should be plenty of goals in this one. I'm going 2-2. 2-2, both teams to score. Over 3.5. Over 2.5 if you want to be safe. I do see, again, more firepower in Bournemouth's attack as opposed to Arsenal. As a result, I don't see Arsenal winning this football match. I think Bournemouth double chance for me makes a lot of sense. I do expect Inter to win. It's not going to be pretty. It will not be easy. 2-0, struggling game. It'll be one of those painful games. But like I said, Verona not looking strong themselves going forward. Inter have to keep a clean sheet, and I expect them to win. And to do so. Inter to win, no BTTS. Barcelona will still win this one. 3-1. I like both teams to score here as well. Real Madrid 2, Celta Vigo 1. Mbappe scored a free kick. He mudded that Twitter account. I expect him to score again on the weekend. United is very simple. Unless you're playing against 10 men, they can't win. They can't win. This one, a very easy game for me to analyze. When in Italy, there's two teams like this, both fighting for something, both going head to head. Draw. Midas has done it again. You cannot keep questioning me. Game after game after game, I keep spoiling. Robin Hood, the Oracle, has done it again. Spoiler after spoiler after spoiler. Actually, I don't think we got a completely correct spoiler, but most of the outcomes, everything I said, happened. Give or take. We missed a couple of games. Let's recap where we went wrong, where we could still improve, and of course everything that happened on this fantastic, beautiful weekend of football. We began at the Etihad on Friday, whereby I told you it'll be a close game between these two teams, but we may have even slightly misanalyzed the game because Wolves should have scored in the opening half, really. They were the better team. Cunha looked like a player again. If he is going to go to United, I'm sure he's going to improve that team. But Manchester City relied on that defensive solidity. I was disappointed with Marmoush's performance. I didn't like him out on the right. But Gvardiol, Ruben Dias, monstrous. And De Bruyne getting the only goal of the game. Makes me wonder with Kevin, you know, like, would I take him at Inter? It's tough. It's tough. 1 week I feel like he's washed, but then another week he's still delivering. Class is definitely permanent. And I wonder what the City officials are thinking at the moment. I still think it's the right decision to let him go, but my oh my, he can still deliver. Then on Saturday, it was that Leipzig-Bayern game. Incredible drama. I said it'll be 2-2, 3-3, 2-2. What's the difference? But Leipzig in the first half, there was only one team playing. I couldn't believe how bad Bayern Munich were. Leipzig were destroying them. Sesko in particular was unplayable. Bayern couldn't get near him with the Kim injury, of course. It was a Bayern team missing a lot of players. But Sesko and Simmons were tearing them apart. But then, second half, complete momentum swing. The big players, Kimmich and Olise, stepped up for Bayern after a very poor first half, even from them. Next thing you know, it's 3-2. Bayern needed the win to mathematically guarantee the title. But then, of course, Poulsen came on and he got us that much needed equalizer. Incredible drama, as always, in Germany. Bayern did end up becoming champions later, on Sunday after Leverkusen dropped points and Harry Kane won his first title. Things you love to see. All the losers, they can't keep criticizing him now. They can't keep downplaying him and claiming Vardy's better and this and that. Stop it. Deserved title for Kane. Then it was, of course, we kept an eye on the Napoli game where it's not looking good. It's not looking good. They found a way to win again. Some drama. It could have been a penalty. They scored from a free kick that never was. They're so bad, but they're not conceding goals and they keep winning football matches. Drama at the Emirates where Arsenal surprised me and surprised, I think, most people, starting with a full strength 11. But Bournemouth deserved the win, I thought. Like, if there was a team more likely to win, despite Arsenal go ahead, they stayed calm. And it's disaster for Arsenal because they didn't rest their players. They still ended up losing the game. PSG rotated their entire team. They'll be the much fresher team on Wednesday. And big problems yet again for Arsenal. Odegaard, I can't believe how bad he's playing at the moment, game after game, because he's a fantastic footballer. But of course, people will now jump on the bandwagon claiming he's always been terrible. The players that have always been terrible are those front two riders. Shocking. Trashinelli doing what he does best, and Trossard, the biggest purple patch player that you'll see. Huijsen, where is he going? Fantastic player. It's looking like either Liverpool or Real Madrid from what I am hearing. But he'll fit into basically any team. How on earth Juventus let him go, I will never know. I tell you, he wasn't good for freaking Bournemouth though. This loser here, I told you guys, man, his father would be ashamed with that performance. He was making me rage. But at the end, I said 1-1. Bournemouth went one step further and even beat Arsenal. Then came the two games in the evening where, of course, Inter rotated their entire team. And let me tell you, this was a grim watch as we expected. But Inter got the job done. We've got to keep up the pace with Napoli. So we've got to keep pushing them as much as we can. Barcelona, though, this is where most of the drama arrived. Because Barca rotated just like Inter, although they still had to play most of their starters because they went down a goal very early on after their static was doing what he does best, staring at the goal and letting the ball go past him. This kid right here, my oh my, it was a blessing in disguise that he got an injury. And then, of course, Lamine Yamal entered and he done, well, what he does best. Turned the game around. He was spamming roulettes again. I was like, what's going on, man? The kid is looking in demon form, which is not good news for us. Vermeer scored as well. My boy Ansu didn't, though, which sucked. And then, of course, Rafinha came off the bench. Crucial win for Barca, because if they were to drop points in that one, of course, ahead of El Clasico, the pressure would have been on. I did think Barca would win by more than a goal, and this was the game that destroyed my Aka, because I was certain that we'd by more than a goal, but the early goal messed them up. Valladolid, shame on them as well at the end. They didn't even take risks. They were happy losing by a goal. Then we shifted immediately to Super Sunday. We started at the Bernabeu before we get to Amarant. I get to you, Amarant. I get to you. Real Madrid. Incredible what I was seeing in the first 60 minutes. Arda Güler showing us why he has to play and what a criminal Ancelotti is. Mbappe with 2 well-taken goals as well. But then came a problem. Asensio came off because, of course, I guess Ancelotti was thinking that they only have 2 centre-backs if you want to even account Tchouameni as a centre-back. Asensio comes off. Iago Aspas came on for Celta Vigo. Bang, 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 bang. And if it wasn't for Courtois, they could have suffered dropped points, and it would have basically meant title over. But I couldn't believe what I was seeing towards the end of the game from Vinicius and Bellingham. I mean, they could have killed the game, and these guys are losing the ball still. Celta come back. I couldn't believe it, but at least Madrid got the job done. Spectacular player. The way he strikes a ball, both in shooting as well as crossing his set pieces. People don't understand, man. It's a cheat code to have a player like that. But as always, Ancelotti, criminal for not giving him more minutes. Mbappe is now, I believe, 1 goal behind Lewandowski as well. Keep an eye on that one. Trashnicius, nowhere to be seen. Yet again. What is it? I think 3 goals for Vinicius in the last 6 months or so, 5 months in the league, something like that. Woo! Honking! Then we shifted to England again, where Ruben Amarant lost again. I couldn't believe it. If they don't have 10 men, there's a crazy statistic, by the way. If the opponents of Manchester United don't have 10 men, and it's not a bottom 3 team in the Premier League, and it's not like a mid-Europa League team like Steaua Bucharest or whoever, this loser has won like 1 game. He's won like 1 game in the entire of 2025 if you factor those conditions. And there's still people that are defending him. It's incredible. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, man. Brentford were patting him on his head again. Every single team outplays United. But as always, United fans will try and spin it and somehow claim, but we care about Europa League. But the team wasn't even that bad again that they're putting out. I mean, it's rotating. Obi, oh, dearie me. Honking player. Ugarte, though, was for me the standout United player again, which is funny because most United players or most United fans wanted him out. Interesting. Noted. Then I did think West Ham will be Spurs. Shame on them. Newcastle dropping points as well against Brighton, but it's still a key point. Chelsea-Liverpool was the next main game that we watched, and let me tell you something. It was, I had a draw in this one. So, of course, this is one that I got wrong. But it was a weird game of football. Because I don't know why Slot rotated. That's first and foremost. I don't know why he rotated. Because in 2014, Chelsea cost Liverpool the title. Liverpool could have mudded Chelsea and ensure that they don't get Champions League football, but for some reason he rotated. I don't know why he did, and he rotated as much as he did. Rotate in the final games. Why rotate against Chelsea? There's bad blood there. Hank Schrader's, for me, misread that completely. But again, Liverpool weren't that bad, aside from the terrible midfield, well, Endo aside, because I thought he was good with that goal-saving tackle. But it was a weird game. Chelsea, though, there's no denying. When Lavia plays, they're a completely different team. Truly fantastic player. And then, of course, Enzo Fernandez, who people continue disrespecting. But the player I need to touch upon. If you don't think that this is the best midfielder in the Premier League, then you need to stop watching the sport. Because this one ain't for you. Every time I watch this man play, I almost feel like because Chelsea don't play Champions League football, that's almost like what prevents people from like claiming he's as good as he should be. But for me, if you're talking 6'8", I'm talking 6, I'm excluding number 10s. Best midfielder in the Premier League. Obviously, Rodri out, but fantastic. I mean, he could be N'Golo Kante for Chelsea. I don't think that is an exaggeration to begin using those comparisons. The way he wins the ball, his anticipation, the aggression that he plays with, he can carry the ball as well. Decision making, almost always perfect. Wow. And then of course Cinderella pocketing Mo Salah. But we'll get into that, as well as this loser here, because what made Chelsea's win all the more impressive was the fact that Chelsea played with 10 men. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. One of the most negative IQ players I've ever laid my eyes on. How many times was this loser offside? It's incredible. And the fact that there were still Chelsea fans claiming that they don't need a striker. I mean, it's incredible. I needed Liverpool to score. And I was still getting frustrated by this loser. Watching him play, it was like, what even are you doing? Like, the Liverpool defense would stop moving back. This idiot will still keep moving forward. I mean, it's basic football. Crazy. Then I shifted to Bologna-Juventus, whereby... we accurately, I mean, I said 0-0, 1-1, 0-0. What's the difference? I told you it's going to finish as a draw. And keep an eye on this, by the way, because if you think the Premier League Champions League race is interesting, oh my. 3 teams all on 63 points, 1 on 62, and there's only 1 spot to fight for. But I told you what happens in Italy when it becomes like that, in a big game like that, it becomes too risky to lose the game as opposed to them trying to kill the other team. So it cancels out 1-1, and then we'll get it. Perfect draw, and that put a very successful weekend to an end for us, although of course Milan still left to play today. As always, I done my team of the week and my flops. Into my team of the week, Svilar, best goalkeeper in Italy. Sensational what he's doing. Rome on an 18 unbeaten streak, and he's been one of the main reasons why him and Manu Kone especially, a fantastic top goalkeeper. I cannot praise him enough. Caicedo, you know my thoughts. I thought Chalobah was fantastic as well. He's been the leader in that backline for Chelsea that's been missing. Gvardiol, I cannot stop praising this guy. Fantastic. Cinderella pocketing Salah. What a performance. Lavia, And so a lot of Chelsea players in here. I was mega impressed with every single one of these. Of course, this is mostly based on the games I've watched, because people will come in and tell me, oh, why is that player not there? I can't watch everything. They're based on the games I've watched. Arda Güler, incredible from him with that spectacular goal and that brilliant through pass for Mbappe. Speaking of which, also makes my team of the week. Like I said, 1 goal behind Lewandowski. His first goal in particular. I mean, both goals, but the first goal, what a strike. Olise has to get it, even though he was shocking in the first half. And Sesko, like I said, I was mightily impressed by how good this guy is. He's got everything. For me, at 21 years of age, he's got so much room to grow. He'll be the one I'll be going after. All these talks about Osimhen, Gyökeres. If I was Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, he'll be the one I'll be targeting. Then of course the flops. Goalkeeper, we have a lot of competition, but I had to go with Bayern there. Urbeck and Raya also with shocking games. But the thing is, Bayern there started well as well, but then bang, faded completely. Ben White, I thought, looked completely off it. Kwanzaa needs to stop going in Astrid West's DMs, because he's not been the same. I honestly thought he'll be Van Dijk's successor. He looks a million miles away, completely off it. Leimer, I couldn't believe how bad he looked for Bayern as well. He had chances to score. On the ball, he kept giving it away. Poor defensively. Curtis Jones, when him, Elliott play together, it's a disaster. Like, you could get away with playing one alongside the others, but shocking. Odegaard, the questions continue. That moment when he was in and he had an opportunity to shoot and he hesitated and then he loses the ball. It's a player whose confidence is completely shot, and as the captain, it's not a good sign. If I was Arteta, I would seriously consider dropping him for the PSG game. Mino, he's not a 6 or an 8, but he's too slow. I'm sorry. I say he's not an 8. If you fit him with 2 other midfielders, maybe, but in the system Amorant is playing, it's never ever going to work. Trossard, he played more down the middle, but shocking. Salah, listen, if Inter win the Champions League, there's still a chance for him to win the Ballon d'Or, but not playing like that. Like, sure, yeah, he crosses a good cross and then Nunes does what he does best, looks like a freaking clearance, but I expected way more from him. He looked off it as well. And then the 2 up front, Jackson, like I've mentioned, and Obi Martin. I love the kid, but if Højlund had that performance, imagine what they'll be saying. The United fans keep saying, oh, play the kids, but then he plays like that. He needs to hit the gym in the summer. Obi, come with me in the summer and I'll turn you into a alpha male. That was a very successful weekend for Robin Hood. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the Champions League spoilers. It's the big one. Inter Barcelona. We will pray for Inter's progression through to the final. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Spoiler, Robin Hood, Phoenix, Oracle, out.